So it is always better to get ahead of the curve and to make sure that our election procedures are as tight as they can be. Another way to think about this is that you don't wait until your house is burglarized to lock your front door. You lock it every night as a precaution against crime. And it is far, far better to have these sorts of precautions in place to protect the integrity of our elections before something happens, rather than wait until there is a constitutional crisis to address these concerns.
And we should say, like in Virginia's case, for example, some elections officials said that they believed that was an error, not necessarily like maliciously trying to get on the voter rolls. But either way, what is the process right now? Because it varies by state, right? If you're in a state that requires you to show a certain form of ID, presumably an undocumented person can't do this. And like in California, for example, an illegal alien could get a driver license, but because they applied for a special license due to their immigration status, their information does not get sent to the Secretary of State. At least that's what state officials will tell you. So are you saying something like that? And I know that my question right now is short of proof of citizenship, but are you saying that these kinds of rules are insufficient, or that these aren't really the problems you're talking about?
Well, there's always the possibility that systems will break down. And when you are, for instance, in a state that has automatic voter registration and also provides driver's licenses to illegal immigrants, although every state provides them to non-citizens in some form, right? People who are here legally. Essentially, at that point, what you're saying is that you need to have a multi-step process that works flawlessly every single time, identifying people who are non-citizens and getting driver's licenses, and then not referring those records for registration purposes. And we know that just doesn't happen, right? There are states that have automatic voter registration, and errors were made where non-citizens have become registered. And to your previous point, a lot of times this is not anything nefarious or malicious. A lot of times this is actually someone at the DMV or another government agency saying, yes, it's okay for you to register to vote. And they go ahead and they click yes, and then they register to vote. So you wind up actually with these sort of systemic problems that can occur. And sometimes it is the immigrant, the non-citizen, who's not trying to do anything wrong, but winds up getting caught in this system. And of course, the problem with that is that if they do then vote after they were told that they could, that's a crime, which could wind up getting them deported. So there are definitely cracks in the system. And the easiest and simplest way to ensure that we do not have non-citizens registering and voting, which is going to protect the integrity of elections and protect those individuals, is to just require proof of citizenship at the outset for every single person who is registering and voting, no matter what form, no matter what method they use to accomplish that goal.
Finally, do you believe what Speaker Johnson has said, that the Biden administration's border policies for much of the last 3.5 years were an effort to let people in so they could be turned into voters? That sounds very cynical, right? Is that sort of one of the beliefs that maybe an organization like you guys hold?
Well, look, we believe that you should have election rules that prevent all forms of illegal voting, and that those rules should make it easy to vote and hard to cheat. I think it is entirely reasonable for people to ask why it is possible for non-citizens to register and vote. And I don't think that there is a lot of hyperbole in the argument that there is a growing chorus of folks on the left who do want non-citizens voting. If you look at New York City, for instance, they passed a law to enfranchise hundreds of thousands of non-citizens, including illegal aliens that were living in the city. That law was enjoined in the courts, but they still tried. In Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, allows non-citizens to vote in district races. And in that particular case, the Washington Post, actually, the editorial team there, called out the city for trying to take advantage of immigrant populations to push the city's politics further to the left. So there was a calculus there, a rather cynical one, in fact, that by changing who could vote, you could change the politics of Washington, D.C.'s elections. And so I think that there are definitely concerns here. We have seen from recent history that it is possible for non-citizens to register and vote in elections. And I think that the best precaution that can and should be taken is to pass something like the SAVE Act that says that federal law will require proof of citizenship before you register and vote in federal elections. This is common sense. It's something that 90% of Americans support. And that's the direction that I think that the vast majority of the country would like us to see, because we want confidence in the results of elections. And rules like this that provide transparency give that confidence. And that's what ultimately encourages people to continue turning out and voting in American elections.
Now, while Democrats say there's so little evidence non-citizens vote that such a rule is not needed, they say it could also harm certain groups of legal voters who don't have access to documents proving their citizenship, like a birth certificate or passport. The Brennan Center estimates more than 9% of us don't readily have such documentation available.
This is just another card from the, fear-mongering playbook from where I stand as a Democrat on the left, from Republicans on the right.
Leslie Marshall is a Democratic strategist and Fox News contributor.
We don't have evidence that illegals are voting. And honestly, people that are undocumented in this country, they stay away from things like voting or anything where they could be found out and where they would put themselves at risk for, being detained or deported. One. Two, the reason that Democrats don't want any type of identification and not just proof of citizenship is because there are people that would disproportionately affect. One, elderly. Two, veterans. Three, homeless.
Well, even so, and you can make exceptions, right? I mean, every law, every rule isn't just a blanket rule. There are always exceptions. Even so, is it really that disenfranchising to ask the majority of people to prove who they are? I mean, lots of countries do that. I think plenty of countries actually require like ID or proving who you are before you vote.
Plenty of countries have majority rule. Plenty of countries have had a woman president. We have neither. Should we do that too? Should we? There's a difference between showing identification. Another thing is there are undocumented workers with a driver's license. So I'm going to have to carry around my birth certificate and my passport to vote. Are you kidding me?
But to push you on this, when Speaker Johnson and other Republicans say, look, Democrats want non-citizens voting. That's the goal. What do you say to that?
There's an assumption if you came to the United States illegally, weren't born in the United States and came here illegally, that you're going to side with the Democrat. That's just grouping every single individual from every single country that comes into this country from another country. So back to what you asked about voting, for Democrats. There are people that come, to this country from other countries that, they're just trying to survive. Many of them don't know the difference between a Democrat and Republican because they're not educated. They're coming here uneducated, especially migrant workers, field workers. And in addition to that, issues that are typically considered Republican, like, pro-life, non-LGBTQ, supportive issues. People coming from very heavily Catholic countries actually would side more with Republicans on those type of issues than Democrats.
Okay. Democratic strategist Leslie Marshall, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Ride Home with Rich Zioli. Weekdays on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Robert is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
I am Robert Strickler. My wife Joyce and I have been married for 53 years. Certainly one of the really important things in my life are our children and our grandchildren. I am essentially a writer. I've been involved in communications. I've been an avid fly fisherman. I've been taking Prevagen for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly, have a crisper ability to remember and think through things. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen is available in stores everywhere without a prescription. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
It's that time of year again to consider replacing your old drafty windows and doors before another long, cold winter season rolls in. And my good friends at Guida Door and Window will help make your window and door replacement project more affordable with their buy one, get one half off sale. For every door and window you buy, you'll get the second one at 50% off. And you can mix and match these savings to suit your own needs. Buy an entry door, get half off a storm door. Buy a patio door, get 50% off a window. Need to replace all the windows and doors in your house? Then you'll save 50% on half your project. The more you need, the more you save. Plus, Guida is making it easier to afford your project with no money down and interest-free financing for up to 18 months. Act now. This offer is for a limited time only. Restrictions apply. For full details, call Guida today to schedule a free, no-obligation in-home estimate at 877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, G-U-I-D-A.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
Fox News, I'm Sue Gussman. The highly anticipated presidential debate set for tonight. Virginia Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin predicting this of Vice President Kamala Harris.
She will try to convince America of something different than the truth. She will say that she believes in things that we know aren't true.
Delaware Governor John Carney on America Reports predicts former President Trump will go on the attack.
I think her challenge is to hold her ground, to be consistent and to lay out for the American people, or at least the narrow portion of the American people who haven't decided yet who they're going to support in the election.
Fox News Radio will provide live coverage and a simulcast of the ABC presidential debate beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern. Tropical storm Francine continues to strengthen in the Gulf of Mexico. America's listening to Fox News.
Is the Fox News Rundown. Now a look at sports.
Aaron Rodgers' return did not go the way the Jets planned. The Jets lost their season opener to the 49ers on Monday Night Football, 32-19. Rodgers, in his first game action since his season-ending Achilles injury against the Bills in last year's opening weekend, completed 13 of 21 passes for 167 yards, with 1 touchdown and an interception. San Francisco, without the services of do-everything running back Christian McCaffrey, still managed 180 yards on the ground, getting 147 yards and a touchdown on 28 carries from Jordan Mason. In Week 2, the Jets will stay on the road to face the Titans, while the 49ers head to Minnesota for a date with the Vikings. That's sports. On the Fox News Rundown, I'm Joe Morgan, Fox News.
Now an update from Outkick's Hot Mic.
Is it not enough just to dominate the United States and have your teams all across that top 50 Forbes list of most valuable franchises in the world? I mean, yes, there are European soccer clubs in that list too. I mean, you're already dominating. I'm speaking for the fan here, all right? I'm the one who feels like I'd just rather see this game in Green Bay. But it's never enough. I don't understand why this isn't enough. You are dominating to a level that even owning the United States, you have got more franchises than any other league in that top 50 most valuable worldwide. Worldwide already. I mean, it's not going to stop the American audience from watching, and I think that they know that they have everyone kind of by the balls right now with this because America's so addicted to football. But I'm not enriched at all as an American football fan by these games.
I'm Chad Withrow with Hot Mike with Hutton and Withrow on the Fox News Rundown.
Hi, this is Joe Mederchik, PNC Bank Regional President. People ask us, is PNC just a boring bank? Well, that depends. Is starting a business boring or being the first person in your family to go to college? For nearly 160 years, we've done the hard and occasionally boring work of banking to deliver brilliant results to our clients. To see what boring banking can do for you, stop into any of our local branches right here in the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
I'd rather ride a bike with my kids.
Faster! I'd rather play catch with my dog than catch pneumococcal pneumonia.
Ask your doctor or pharmacist about Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. If you are 19 or older with certain chronic conditions like heart disease or asthma, you are at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Side effects include pain and swelling at the injection site, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'd rather race for some ice cream. Let's go!
Schedule your vaccination today at Prevnar20.com.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
The New Era Phillies team store never goes out of style. Shop our expansive collection of hats, jerseys, and other Phils apparel today. Shipping is also available. Visit Phillies.com/New Era for store hours. The Cubs make their way to South Philly on Monday, September 23rd and Tuesday, September 24th, both at 6:40, and Wednesday, September 25th at 6:05. Join the action and snag your seats today at Phillies.com.
Hey, I'm going to let you in on a little wireless hack that can cut your cell phone bill in half every single month. Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile, they want you to believe that you need unlimited data so they can overcharge you. Well, here's the fact. Most of you are buying way more data than you'll ever need. Now, Pure Talk, my cell phone company, only charges you for data that you actually need. For example, for $25 a month, you can get unlimited talk, unlimited text, and 5 gigs of data plus mobile hotspot, $25. And do you know what you can do with 5 gigs of data? Well, you can browse the internet for 135 hours, stream 1,000 songs, and watch 10 hours of video. Stop overpaying for wireless. Get 5G coverage with Pure Talk. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword save now. Check in with one of Pure Talk's U.S. customer service team members. No contract assigned, no activation fee, and you can even keep your phone and your phone number. Pound 250, keyword save now. Do it now. You save an additional 50% off your first month from Pure Talk.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. We may be able to significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe to the IRS. Taxpayers should know. Huge savings are now being made available through the Fresh Start program that can drastically reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. Even if you haven't filed your taxes in years or are facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or under audit, we can help. We've earned over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. To see what savings you may qualify for, visit us online at TRA.com or call us at 800-511-0379. 800-511-0379. Again, that's 800-511-0379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Don't miss the Labor and Energy Show with J-Doc and Krause, brought to you by Advocacy United, this Saturday night at 6. Find out about the important issues that'll affect you. The Labor and Energy Show, Saturday night at 6 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. Always live on the free Odyssey app. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Live and local from Philadelphia. Free speech lives here. It's Kayal and Company on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
And away we go, live on this Tuesday, September 10th. It is indeed Kayal and Company, right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Always live on the free Odyssey app, and of course streaming live for your video viewing pleasure on YouTube. As we head until 10 o'clock this morning, 855-839-1210 is the phone number. On social media at 1210 WPHT. I am at Nick Kayal, Kayal. Dawn Stensland with the news. Greg Stocker, the chairman of the board. Captain Kirk. Jimmy Kelly. A whole squad here. Phil Almquist will be back later this week. What a day we have lined up for you on Debate Night in America. Actually, Debate Night in Philadelphia. Dawn, good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm fired up. Exactly 14 hours, 59 minutes, and 34 seconds until the debate gets underway.
I literally could not sleep last night.
I don't know how I'm going to sleep tonight.
I know. Very excited.
We're not going to be going to bed until 11:30, 12 o'clock.
We're fired up.
Fired up.
Is it exciting now?
It is for me. Ugh. It sure as hell beats Trump Biden. Remember everybody said, Trump Biden, we've got fatigue. Well, you've got something a little bit different now.
I'm going to have a hot take at 6:01. Hi, Nick Kayal. Hi, Dawn Stensland.
Hello, Gregory.
I just, the people, these people so invested in this is just like, when does our identity become who we vote for? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Something to ponder at 6:02.
Something to ponder. Save the
Are you having like a midlife crisis?
I don't know, man. I'm just
career change. You want to go play music? What do you want to do?
It's like a sports team. It's like and by the way, speaking of sports teams, imagine going all the way out to San Francisco to see the Jets get blown out. Oh my Lord.
Phil Almquist waited 2 years to see Aaron Rodgers play, and he completed, 13 passes?
And isn't that Sean Farish's favorite team?
Yeah.
So we'll have to bust his chops.
I don't know what's worse, being a Jet fan or...
being a Giants fan?
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, Giants, what about those horrible retro uniforms?
Oh, I know.
Uniforms?
Oh.
That's I'm embarrassed.
Yeah. They look like Michigan and the Montreal Canadiens had a one-night stand together and spit out some awful uniforms. Atrocious.
No, but I just mean like, you wear the jersey, you put the signs up, it's like, okay.
I'm just excited because I've got a big takeaway.
Just lower my taxes, damn it. That's all I care about. Stay out of my bedroom, stay out of my life, and lower my taxes.
I think most people would agree with that.
Thank you.
There
It's
you
kind
go.
of like homecoming king and queen in high school.
Yeah. I'm thinking today, tomorrow, and then obviously November 5th, November 6th, probably the 4 most important shows that we will do from now until the end of the calendar year.
That's not true at all. We have important shows every day.
Well, yes.
What are you saying?
This feels like the NFC Championship for the sports
Oh,
station.
boy, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
So a lot of good things to get to. We will give you a preview and a primer for tonight's debate here in Philadelphia. Also, it's bad when the New York Times comes out and says, hey, Eagle fans, quit complaining about crime in Brazil. Your city's actually less safe. I couldn't believe that was a real headline, and we'll get to that story coming up. It's amazing. And then also the Tyreek Hill body cam footage from his arrest Sunday right before the Dolphins game as he was about to pull into the complex in South Florida. We'll get to that. Also this morning, the cut sheet, the voicemails, and also looking at the Jewish factor in this election from 2 different perspectives. One person says Kamala blew it, and then some polling numbers that say, remember Ronald Reagan and 40% with the Jewish factor? Trump's not even close to that. We'll get to that coming up this morning. But before we get to all of that, let's get to the news. Round number 1 at 6:04. She's fired up, and she'll have the coffee pot brewing late tonight. Her and Larbear will be having debate night in the Stensland living room. God. The great Dawn Stensland.
My Lord.
Good Tuesday morning, September 10th. Yes, debate day in Philadelphia and the nation. 59 degrees as you are waking up. We are sponsored this morning in Kayal & Company. News Live by Piazza Auto Group this morning. So we do have some developing stories right now, and that is a dive team is headed to or just arriving at for the 3rd time in a month, I might add, where you have a vehicle that has gone into the Schuylkill River. And so this is off of Kelly Drive. Remember, we had told you about, late August, there were 2 situations. One of them was, remember, a Mercedes-Benz backing into the river.
Yes.
That one happened, and they never found that driver, by the way, from the Mercedes. And then there was another one where they said that a vehicle accidentally shifted into gear, that it went into the Schuylkill River. This was also late August. Kelly Drive, right near Strawberry Mansion Bridge in Fairmount Park. So those were the first 2 ones within the last just a couple weeks ago. But this one, there was a witness, called 911, saw this pickup truck, heard something, then saw the pickup truck go into the river. So we don't know, is this an accident? Is this on purpose? Because obviously the Mercedes that backed in, where we didn't find the driver, that one was on purpose.
Yeah, I was going to say, and wasn't that the claim from firsthand knowledge that there was somebody in the driver's seat backing in?
There was a witness to it.
And so they never found the body.
They said they never found the body, the driver. That was weird. That's the update on that, as now the dive team heads for the Schuylkill to hopefully, as of right now, they don't have a rescue reported. So we have that one going on. 17-year-old shot in Philadelphia. That was, I believe, North Philadelphia this morning. And then we have last night a teenager shot, a 15-year-old reported to be shot and injured near Temple University, North Philadelphia, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 1400 block of Cecil B. Moore Ave. 15-year-old found at the scene suffering from a gunshot wound to his hip. So he was right there, rushed to Temple University Hospital, where he's listed in critical condition. But I will say, Temple University Hospital, those emergency department doctors are like war room, what would you say, a war or combat zone type emergency room physician,
right?
Where they're amazing at saving lives.
Well, how many times do the police officers have to bring them directly there because there's no time to wait for the medics?
Oh, that's a great point. That's so true. I don't know if that's the case in this one.
Okay.
We know that for the 15-year-old, He's a student with the school district of Philadelphia, so presumably left school. This happened after 15-year-old left school, and this situation happened. The suspected shooter appeared to be of the similar age as the victim and fled onto the subway. So, as I always say, no word yet as to a motive. We don't have a suspect in custody. We don't have the firearm that was used. It's the same story that I give, every morning.
It's just target practice gone awry.
Oh my gosh.
That's all it is.
I will say before I get to all the road closures that are pending today, because it affects everybody. And remember, there's a Phils game tonight, so a lot of traffic this evening. So we'll get to that. But as far as the Johnny Matthew Goudreau, the commemoration, the memorial that happened in Media, Pennsylvania yesterday at noon. Just a heart-wrenching story for this family as we learned that NHL star Johnny Goudreau, that his wife, Meredith, announced at the commemoration she's pregnant with their third child. And Johnny's younger brother, Maddie, his wife, as you know, she's pregnant with their first child.
Mm-hmm.
And so just not a dry eye in the place, as so many gathered in Media, Pennsylvania, for a Catholic service, to remember them, to honor their lives, to celebrate their lives.
I actually saw Johnny Goudreau play in Nashville in 2019. Yeah, when they came down to play the Predators. Yeah, it was a good player.
Well, a good player, and what you hear from everybody, by all accounts, our Henry Machette said his dad met him. You keep hearing that. People saying, yeah, I met him back when so-and-so. Everybody has a good story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hockey players are really good dudes. They're fun. They're fun people to be around. Party animals, too. They're wild men.
Oh, my goodness. So we will get to all the rest of the day's news as far as this historic debate between Vice President Kamala Harris for former President Donald J. Trump. But I'll just focus right now on the security, on high alert, obviously, at and around Philadelphia's National Constitution Center. The debate tonight aired on ABC News. It looks like everybody's pretty much going to be streaming it.
And 1210 WPHT.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
So we'll stream it here. And that's always a fun exercise if you are watching it visually, but if you listen to it.
Yep.
That I love doing that during a debate.
So now let me ask, just because I'm guessing the audience might have the same question. Are we getting the television feed?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
It's not like a radio announcer? It's like Westwood One?
No.
Okay.
But when you listen to it as opposed to watching it, sometimes you'll have a different take.
Oh.
And so, and that goes back to, journalism class and talking about the first televised presidential debate, which is, of course, Nixon-Kennedy.
Because you can't see body language, right?
Yeah. Yep, can't see anybody sweat.
Oh.
Can't see their nervous quiver of their lip or whatever.
All right, so here's what you do. You turn off your televisions in your house tonight. You turn the lights off. You light a few candles. You have a cup of coffee or a cocktail, and you fire up the Odyssey app on your phone.
Thank you.
There you go.
Yep.
See?
Yep. Everybody listen to it on 1210 WPHT.
Theater of the mind.
Yep.
It's like fireside chats.
I believe Dom Giordano will be in the spin room afterwards, so hopefully we'll get some sound from Dom because he used his contacts to get in there.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Yep.
Well, what a day this is. If you're going anywhere from Center City to South Philadelphia between the Constitution Center and Citizens Bank Park, good luck today.
Well, that's just it. At some point this morning, and they keep saying there are these rolling road closures.
Rolling.
So we've been getting alerts since, I think it started overnight, that in fact they're going to start these rolling closures. And at some point this morning, and I don't know the exact time, they're going to shut down the entrance where you would take the exit there to the Constitution Center off the eastbound Vine Street Expressway and 676.
Yep.
When they shut that down, obviously that's going to affect eastbound traffic this morning and throughout the day. Then these rolling closures between 8 and 10 p.m., obviously, leading up to the debate, after the debate, we're going to have the Ben Franklin Bridge. There will be rolling closures and shutdowns on the bridge.
Just stay away from that area.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to stay in Montgomery County.
Just stay away from that area. Yeah.
And that really brings me to our Philadelphia Phillies because game time is 6:40. Yeah. So, we'll think about that. I want to say legendary actor James Earl Jones has died, 93 years young. His family said he died peacefully at home.
Saw that.
Darth Vader.
Voice of Darth Vader, yeah. Yeah.
So I heard that this morning. I said, oh, and I did not know that as a young child, he overcame a speech impediment.
Yeah.
Stutter, right?
Which is, yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
from Darth Vader to, I think he was in 3 different seasons of The Simpsons as a voice. He was also in, if you remember the Disney movie, the baseball movie, The Sandlot. He was the guy on the other side of the fence with the big dog that gobbles up the baseballs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just a legendary actor, iconic, really. And so, we're seeing that on social media this morning. Fans paying tribute to him.
Yeah, 93. I mean,
93.
That's a good run.
Yeah,
it's a good run.
Going to be about 33 years longer than I get.
Stop. Got to keep those doctor's appointments going.
Yeah, I got one coming up.
Keep them going.
Good.
Keep them
Keep it
going.
going.
Yeah.
So I talked about our Phillies. Wow. First of all, weather-wise, gorgeous night last night, but our Phillies beat the Rays 2-1, and what an exciting end. As we had Buddy Kennedy, who's a local guy, and everybody cheering Buddy, and then Cody. And Cody. I mean, just a riveting, energized night last night for our Philadelphia Phillies, but we won 2-1. So
there was a little discrepancy. Did you see the Bryce Harper situation?
No, but I saw people tweeting it. What happened?
He hit he hit a long shot that looked like it was going to be out of there.
Okay.
It wasn't, and he kind of dogged it to first base.
Oh, boy.
And everybody's saying that he could have gotten 2 out of it.
Okay.
If he would have hustled instead of admiring his
his
shot.
Yeah.
They did a 2-shot with Topper, and
Topper.
you could see his disgust on his face. But
I remember that happened to Rollins years ago, and Boa chewed him out for it.
Yeah. I mean, they should. Your job is to hustle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Just because you're on top doesn't mean you sit there and look at the scoreboard.
That's right.
Right, Nick Kayal?
Right, or stare at the clock,
or spike the football.
That's correct.
Right.
Yep.
Because things can change in an instant.
I know. You got to be a humble soldier.
Yeah, humble.
Bryce Harper did, according to Rob Thompson, he did apologize. He said he was sorry and he apologized to the team.
All right.
So he's still injured.
Yeah.
Injured.
Don't make any excuses.
Yeah. He is.
I've never seen
so
a
many
woman
injuries.
just make so many excuses for so many different men.
How'd you like to be a grown man by the name of Buddy? I'd kill my parents if they named me Buddy.
He was cute though. They asked him about it afterwards. He was psyched. And when the home crowd is cheering your name, and he just, was savoring the moment, said he'll remember that for the rest of his life.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. Yep.
So the forecast today, lovely forecast, 82 degrees and sunny today, much of the same. Tomorrow, 83 degrees. Thursday, 85. Friday, 84. The weekend, wow. I mean, if you're sneaking away to the shore, 87 for Saturday and 86 for Sunday. It's one of those.
All these people are just like, fall. No, it is still
not.
summer.
Yes.
It's still summer till the 21st.
Yeah, 11 days to go.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Although I'll tell you, last night we had the windows open and the ceiling fans going. I got to the point where I had to kill the ceiling fans. It was getting a little too chilly for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you celebrate the twins' 10-year-old
Yeah.
weekend?
Yeah, we did a whole bunch of stuff.
So
it's like birthday month. And we've got the actual birthday party coming up this Saturday afternoon. I'm like, they're celebrating for like 4 straight weeks. I'm like, it's one day.
That's right.
It's outrageous.
Right. Their birthday month.
Oh, and then they got then my daughter took one extra invite into class for one girl that wasn't on my wife's list, and it was like World War II. And I'm like, can we just get this facade over with? And this is why I don't do parties.
Ooh.
Just wait till they're teenagers. David says, can I have some buddies over, and can you and Dad go upstairs so we can watch, MMA or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And do you think you could get the Spring Dance hot tub converted to salt water by Saturday?
Yeah, sure.
So
like
that's
I've got nothing else on my docket.
Yeah, I got nothing else to do.
Right.
Nothing happening.
Yeah. I'll just go down to the Atlantic Ocean and scoop up some salt water. All right, pal.
There's your birthday gift from Nick Kayal, kiddo. We are sponsored from Piazza Auto Group. And no, David, you're not getting a car for your birthday, right? For a limited time, get special 0% financing for 60 months on the new 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan or a $2,000 customer bonus Just visit Piazza Volkswagen of Ardmore Langhorne or piazzavw.com for all the details. Thank you, Piazza Auto Group, for sponsoring our first edition of Kayal and Company News Live this big Tuesday morning.
All right, Dawn, thank you very much. 6:17. Let's get to a Tuesday Big Take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
And it is brought to you by American Heritage Credit Union. It is debate night in Philadelphia. We've made it. The first and likely only debate for the 2024 presidential election has arrived, and it's right here in our backyard. The election will likely come down to who wins Pennsylvania, so it's only fitting that Donald Trump and Kamala Harris face off tonight in Philadelphia. And as of Saturday, July 20th, 2024, Donald Trump was supposed to square off against Joe Biden. That was until he KO'd one half of the Biden-Harris administration on the night of June 27th in Atlanta, Georgia. Now Donald Trump will get the opportunity to finish off the other half of this administration. The debate will begin at 9 o'clock. You can hear it right here on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. You can watch it on ABC News, simulcasted on Fox News, and every other channel under the sun. It'll be moderated by David Muir of World News Tonight and ABC News live anchor Lindsay Davis. The National Constitution Center will be the setting. The microphones, they'll be muted, which is what Trump and Biden agreed to. Meanwhile, it's Kamala Harris who wanted the mics to be hot the entire time. And Trump won the coin toss, and he will give the closing statement on tonight's festivities. Trump and Harris will have 2 minutes for a closing statement. They will have 2 minutes to answer questions, 2 minutes for rebuttals, and an extra minute for follow-ups or clarifications. Of course, ABC News, the only network that Kamala agreed to, and that might be because of the positive coverage they give her. According to Newsbusters, ABC's coverage of Kamala is 100% positive, with 93% of their coverage of Trump being 93% negative. It is the most pro-Harris, anti-Trump evening newscast in the United States of America. That data courtesy of Media Research Center. The study revealed MRC analysts reviewed all 100 campaign stories that aired on ABC's World News Tonight from the day Harris entered the race, which is July 21st, through September 6th, and that includes weekends. Our analysts found 25 clearly positive statements about Harris from reporters, anchors, voters, or other nonpartisan sources, with 0 negative statements. None. That computes to a gravity-defying 100% positive spin score for the vice president. As for Trump, their analysts found just 5 clearly positive comments compared to 66 negative statements for a dismal 7% positive or 93% negative spin score. But you know what? That's just fine. Trump put Biden into retirement during his CNN debate, and that's hardly a pro-Trump environment. My advice for Donald Trump tonight is simple. You've already done 7 presidential debates. You just ended Joe Biden's career 7 weeks ago. You thrived with muted microphones. Simply put, run it back. Laser focus, clear and concise. Speak to the American public on what you will do for them. Make it about the people. No time for revenge. No time for redemption. Success will be the ultimate payback. Give your vision, explain your policy, and tell Americans that you will fix the errors of the Biden-Harris administration. Don't use nicknames. Don't talk about her race. Don't mention anything about DEI, and tell America that you have been, unlike her, the most transparent and openly available president in American history. As your opponent hides because she has no platform to run on. Crush her on her communist and copycat policies on the economy. Crush her on the flip-flopping. Crush her on being the most liberal senator of all time. In fact, she's so liberal and progressive that she knows she can't win by running on that kind of platform. And even left-wing madman Bernie Sanders knows it. Here was Bernie on NBC unknowingly ripping Kamala Harris as a fraud on NBC's Meet the Press. Listen and watch.
Kamala Harris as a progressive. She has previously supported Medicare for all. Now she does not. She's previously supported a ban on fracking. Now she does not. These, Senator, are ideas that you have campaigned on. Do you think that she is abandoning her progressive ideals?
No, I don't think she's abandoning her ideals. I think she's trying to be pragmatic and doing what she thinks is right in order to win the election.
Well, she's not abandoning them. She's just going to tell you she will do A to get elected and then probably implement B once elected. Translation, that makes you a fraud and a liar. And speaking of the flip-flopping, Axios has laid out Harris's 9 policy reversals that include banning plastic straws. Now she's against that. EV mandates by 2035. As of now, her campaign won't comment on that. Banning fracking. She's against that now. Mandatory buyback programs for assault weapons. She claims to be against that now. Decriminalizing crossing the border. She no longer supports it. Reparations for slavery. That position, according to Axios, is unclear now. Building a border wall. Well, now supports it as part of a bipartisan bill. Federal jobs guarantee. She's nixed that. Medicare for all. She's backed off of that, as Bernie stated. And it's clear what Harris has been doing. She's running on female reproductive rights and hoping that Trump derangement syndrome will carry her across the finish line to victory. But she's more concerned about defining Donald Trump a certain way than she is defining herself. And that could very well be a fatal flaw. Here was the binder yesterday on that subject. Listen and watch.
31% of registered voters said in a New York Times Siena poll that they still need to learn more about Vice President Harris. So why is she spending so much time trying to define Trump and link him to Project 2025 rather than define herself?
I mean, look, those questions, obviously, those are campaign questions. You would have to ask the campaign, and that is for them to speak to. And what I will say is, what I can say is that as far as contrast, the contrast can't be more clear. It couldn't be more clear.
Well, thank you very much for clearing that up, Clarine. I appreciate your time. It's amazing. 1/3 of American voters don't know her. I actually think that number is low. I bet closer to 50% of American voters can't say a word about her, what she's done, what she's failed to do, or what she stands for. The Washington Post with the following headline: Trump can knock Harris out of the race in one debate. Here's how. Mark Thiessen writes the following: remind swing voters of what they like about him, that being his policies. Don't remind swing voters of what they don't like about him. Make Harris the incumbent and tie her to Joe Biden, and make Harris own her record. I agree wholeheartedly with that. And combative styles, Trump very much so. But the mainstream media has tried to show that Kamala's got a little feistiness as well, although a lot of headlines out there today saying Kamala's combative debate style will get the ultimate test against Donald Trump. Why? Well, she's not debating pushovers like Mike Pence. Remember this? Listen and watch.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking. I'm speaking. Okay. If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation. Okay?
Please.
Okay.
Non-answer.
Trying to answer you
the
now.
American people deserve a straight answer.
I will not sit here and be lectured by the Vice President.
There she is. But we won't get that tonight because the microphones will be muted. But I still contend and argue that unmuted microphones against Donald Trump wouldn't help her. Trump is not Mike Pence. Donald Trump is a different political animal. He's a different personality. He's absolutely a type A. So what does the final prep look like as game time approaches? Well, Trump, he's being advised by Tulsi Gabbard, who, as we know, about 5 years ago had a great beatdown of Kamala Harris on the debate stage, as well as getting help from GOP allies. Quote, for the first time, people are really going to get to see her and whether she can stand on her own 2 feet. That is Ari Fleischer, a White House press secretary under G.W. Bush. Fleischer's advice for Trump is simple, quote, hit her on policy, just like you did to Biden in the first debate. That was a disciplined, tough, policy-oriented Donald Trump. I would love to see the same Donald Trump against Kamala Harris, end quote. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris, she's in a hotel room studying tape. Here's the latest from CNN. Listen and watch this.
says she has closely studied the former president's past 6 debate performances. She's also been sort of entrenched in these briefing papers going over the former president's past comments, as well as the ways that he has insulted her, so she can be prepared to respond to that. She's engaged in these mock debates with a stand-in for the former president, and she's had conversations with Hillary Clinton and President Biden, who both extensively have knowledge of debating the former president.
But the reality is this. I'm going to give you a football analogy. This is like having the dummy offense trying to run your opponent's playbook in preparation for the game on Sunday. It's never quite the same. You can't recreate the speed, the on-field game conditions, or the personnel you will face for 60 minutes. It's also like that professor that you might have had in grad school or law school who told you, you know, for all the students in undergrad who got A's because they could memorize their notes, I'm here to tell you that won't work on my exams. And that's precisely why I think Kamala Harris will lose tonight's debate. She can't think on her feet. She's not going to be able to feed off of energy and high-fiving people and having Timmy Walls running around like Chris Farley. And I think as we go to bed late tonight, I believe regardless of what the spin comes from the media in post-game coverage and tomorrow on cable news, I think we're going to walk away knowing that Donald Trump won the debate. But you know what? He doesn't need to KO Kamala like he did Joe. He just needs the judges to score the decision in his favor. The KO comes on November 5th, and that's the big take.
The Big Take on Kayal and Company.
All right, Big Take this morning is brought to you by American Heritage Credit Union. If you are buying a home with the MyCU Home Connection program through American Heritage Credit Union, you can unlock cash rewards, benefits, and discounts. Learn more at americanheritagecu.org/home connection. Insured by NCUA, not a member. Join today. NMLS 433838. We'll come back, get some thoughts on tonight's debate, and then also what Kamala Harris needs to do to distance herself from the big guy, as well as, have you been checking her website? Just yesterday, policies have officially been posted on the website, KamalaHarris.com. What do they include? Yeah, we'll give you those as well. It's Kayal and Company. Back after this on a Tuesday. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Wawa has new Southwest flavors like the roasted chicken fajita veggie quesadilla.
Fajita veggies?
Or the beefsteak burrito with salsa roja.
Salsa roja? Love.
You can also add fire roasted corn and crispy jalapenos.
No way. All from Wawa.
Oh, you bet. Wawa's always keeping things fresh. And this time, it's with delicious Southwest flavors. Try them in a burrito, bowl, or quesadilla and build it just how you like it. Gotta have a Wawa.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Labor Day means back-to-school clothes for the kids, and that means a lot of laundry for you. There may not have been a deal on Little Debbie's designer denims, but you can save $300 on this Whirlpool top-load washer to make sure they last. There are more ways to wash with this 2-in-1 Whirlpool washer with removable agitator for only $449. The Labor Day sales event is going on now at Gerhardt's Appliances, where 80 years of small business is kind of a big deal.
You have key decisions to make about your money. Most investors don't beat the market, and neither do the hedge funds, who take a share of your profits. What if there was another way? a way for you to keep total control over your money where the interests were aligned. That's what the exclusive crash-proof retirement system is all about.
Mike Bisaccia from Logan Township, New Jersey. You can't follow the market because nobody can predict it. What you have today could be gone tomorrow. That's the way it works, up and down, and your money goes up and down. That's what led me to see if there was another alternative. Crash-proof retirement gave me that alternative. With crash-proof retirement, the money you make is credited to your account, and that money's yours. No ifs, ands, or buts, no worries. No fees. We had a high point of 13.5%. Once it's credited, it's your money to keep. That's a big deal.
Schedule an appointment or register for our next event at the William Penn Inn, September 17th. 800-722-9728 or crashproofretirement.com.
The following is a paid commercial message.
Donald Trump's back, and he's out for control.
I would have every right to go after them.
Complete control.
I will wield that power very aggressively.
And he has a plan to get it.
Detailed plans for exactly what our movement will do.
It's called Project 2025, a 922-page blueprint to make Donald Trump the most powerful president ever, overhauling the Department of Justice, giving Trump the unchecked power to seek vengeance, eliminating the Department of Education, and defunding K-12 schools, requiring the government to monitor women's pregnancies, and Trump has also proposed severe cuts to Medicare and Social Security. Those are Donald Trump's plans.
Well, revenge does take time, I will say that. And sometimes revenge can be justified.
He'll take control, we'll pay the price.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. Paid for by Harris for President.
At Wawa, you can always find the right drinks for the right time. And Wawa's pumpkin drinks are back sooner than ever, so you can enjoy the best of summer and fall. Enjoy a pumpkin brulee milkshake by the pool. Sip a pumpkin cheesecake smoothie while skateboarding, or take a pumpkin spice iced coffee on a camping trip. At Wawa, anytime is drink time, and now's the time to feel cool and cozy with Wawa's new pumpkin flavors. Available in milkshakes, cream smoothies, and iced coffee. Gotta have a Wawa.
Wow, honey, have you seen the electric bill?
Yeah, it's out of control. But have you heard of Navien tankless water heaters?
Tankless? How does that even work?
Well, instead of constantly heating and storing water, it only heats water when we need it. So much more efficient than our giant tank heater.
That sounds great. Let's look into Navien.
Already on it.
Imagine all the hot water you need only when you need it. Bulky tanks are history. Navien high efficiency tankless is the future. Compact, wall-hung units free up floor space, lower energy bills, longer life than tanks, and a 15-year warranty. Find out more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
This is a commercial for California Psychics, America's most trusted psychic network. So, if you're waiting for a sign, this is it. No, really, this is it. You won't see your soulmate's face in the clouds or your career path mapped out in your cappuccino foam. This really is it. We could add some dramatic sound effects if you'd like. So what you waiting for? Experience the joy of certainty at CaliforniaPsychics.com.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
.635, Kayal and Company on a Tuesday morning. Nick, Dawn, and Greg. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. Get us on the free Odyssey app. Watch us live on YouTube. Cut sheet coming up 7:45. Kamala Harris policies finally posted on the campaign website. We will get to that. Also, a liberal columnist for New York Mag saying, Kamala, you need to throw Joe Biden under the bus and distance yourself. And while you're at it, back up the bus over him to make sure you've truly separated yourself from him. We'll get to those stories. But Dawn Stensland, when you think about the debate tonight here in Philadelphia, and I know you and I will be watching this intently, clinging to every single syllable and mannerism and grading it from how Trump did to how Kamala did perspective to was ABC fair and partisan. Let's do a little keys to victory. We'll be like a hokey, NFL pregame show. What would you say is the key to a good debate night for Donald Trump? And then also conversely, what do you think is the key for Kamala Harris coming out of there in one piece?
For Donald Trump, I would say he just needs to remind viewers, maybe viewers who get their news from biased media or Twitter, which they should listen to Greg Stocker. Don't get your news from Twitter.
Can we stop getting our news from Twitter?
So for Donald J. Trump, on things like, bring up the insulin issue. He should bring up that was something that was important to him that he talked a lot about. For Donald J. Trump, he should talk about the fact that, it's his tax cuts that are in jeopardy of going away in 2025. He's the one who cut those taxes. So he needs to, try to professionally explain that what we're talking about, these were my plans, these were my tax cuts that I believe in, and here are the details. And he needs to detail it. I think, one of the things that I hope he does, and some of his campaign, they've told me that he'll try to be more hopeful. And so I think that's important as well, that he doesn't come across as irked by the fact that in many ways she's copycatting a lot of the policies that have been popular for him that he created, but rather for him to say, hey, I'm running against an incumbent, somebody who's in office who could do this right now today.
Correct.
And I want to bring back the American dream. I want to make sure that we can bring down inflation, fix the economy. I know how to do this. I'm a proven winner. But to say it in a more hopeful, positive energy way.
Right. And I also think and you heard some of the clips there that we played in the Big Take with, debate prep for Kamala. And we've heard about these columns about Kamala's going to try to rattle Trump, and Hillary has told Kamala that Trump can be rattled and he can be shaken, and you're going to want to try to get under his skin. And we know, at least the theory is she wanted the microphones unmuted so she could have that Mike Pence moment of, excuse me, it's my time, sir, please be quiet. And she's not going to get that with the muted microphones. But I would advise Donald Trump, don't take the bait. Don't play into her trap because if she's trying to memorize these little catchy zingers and aha, gotcha, see, I'm a woman of strength moments, don't play into it. If she goes for one of those memorized jabs, I would just brush it off. I wouldn't even give it any oxygen, because if you stay super focused, I guarantee you there will be post-game analysis that says Donald Trump was laser focused. He was dialed in. Kamala Harris tried to have the Mike Pence moment and Trump wasn't having any of it. He stayed locked in on the economy or immigration or wars or whatever the subject matter is for that 2-minute period after a question. So I think she actually wants to kind of get it kind of muddy and in the muck, and what's her verbiage she's been using? I know guys like Donald Trump. I know fraudsters. I've dealt with those guys my whole life as a prosecutor. So I think she's playing into what she believes her strength is. But if you don't take the bait, she'll never get a chance to really put that on display. So to your point, and when she talks about joy and hope and change, you don't even really need, the change part, you could certainly hit her back with, you've had 3 years and 10 months. Why haven't you changed?
Yeah, and do it today.
Right. And do it today. But if you talk about the joy and the hope, if you're Trump, you say, I would say it was, pretty joyous to have gas at $1.87. I would say it was pretty joyous to have, and illustrate the strengths of your economy and how things were for the first 3 years, and paint that with a joyous and hopeful lens, so to speak. I really think you can, if you don't take her bait tonight in certain moments, I think she's going to have these awkward pauses where she was waiting for the feisty, I can't bite my tongue guy to come lashing out at her. And if he doesn't give her that pleasure, I think it kind of blows up in her face a little bit.
Yeah, and I think we've seen, post Butler, Pennsylvania, when there was an attempt to assassinate Donald J. Trump, to me, I see a change in him. And I really think about what he's been through. He has been, they've persecuted him, they've convicted him, they've dragged him through every court. He's been through it. They've tried, he just survived by a sliver, literally, an assassination attempt. Everything that you could, they've tried to take his business away from him. He left New York. Everything that's happened to him. So I think he just, in many ways, He's been through it. He's so battle tested. And I will say this, even during the debate with Biden, one of his best lines was just sort of when they addressed him, it wasn't like a power play. He casually said, I really don't even know what he just said.
Well, and you can do that with Kamala, because if she word salads it, you just copy and paste what you said on June 27th.
Yeah, so it didn't come off at that point. I liked that style because it did not come off as, ooh, I've memorized, I've been waiting for this big moment. That's not what it was. It came off as just like under his breath, just sort of like, I don't even know what he said. And it was sort of funny, but he did not laugh, which is, by the way, Reagan-esque. That's the Reagan thing. So if he embodies all of that, I think he will do well. But no matter what he does, no matter what he does, they will say Kamala won. They will praise her. And she's the first.
That's my question: is how many people do you think are going to be watching this debate so intensely and hearing the back and forth and really making up their own minds, or are going to be swayed by what
headlines, the
news articles say, what the talking heads say, what Twitter says, what Facebook says? That's the problem with this, is that it doesn't. What happens on the debate is kind of irrelevant as to how people spin it afterwards.
You're right, and to the extent of, let's just say you didn't watch it tonight and you didn't watch clips, but whatever little ecosphere you live in, you'll run with that the next day at the water cooler at the office, right?
Exactly.
Like if you just regurgitate conservative influencers on X, Trump dunked on Kamala, and he might very well do that. I mean, that's certainly a more plausible outcome and a more realistic outcome than Kamala dunked on Trump. But depending on where you get your news, I mean, if you read the New York Times or the Washington Post, Kamala holds her own in combative debate, showing she's more than ready to step into the number one chair. You can see, and I think we got a tweet yesterday. This was either, I think, from Richard Notaro or Old Man Dudley. One of them sent me a tweet saying they already have the columns written on what the headline will be. Yeah. It'll just be a matter of inserting the quote.
It was Rich.
Hit paste and hit send, right?
Yep, it was Rich Notaro.
Yes.
I mean, I just think, and that's the problem here. And to me, look, you may not like Hillary Clinton, but Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State. She had been in the White House. She had been around a long time. Nobody said, oh, she's not qualified for this job. Many people said at the time, as far as her credentials, her resume, but so it's not a woman thing at all that I'm saying here. But my goodness, have we ever seen anybody who has this this platform to be promoted right now and to be poised perhaps to be the next president of the United States? Yeah. I don't think this country has had anybody who is truly more unqualified.
Yeah, you are
than
correct.
Kamala Harris. And I mean, it just boggles my mind that anybody takes this seriously.
Yeah, I agree.
This individual is not qualified. He's never run anything. Where is her resume or her experience level? I just don't see it. And clearly we know that because Democrats didn't even choose her. She wasn't even a top choice.
She was on the verge of being replaced as the Veep.
Yes.
Now she's qualified to be the number one. To your point, qualifications and candidacy and career accomplishments, stacking Kamala up against Hillary is like putting the freshman football team up against the varsity. I mean, it's honestly not even close. Yeah. I mean, to your point, yes. I mean, Hillary was, quote, qualified. She just couldn't shake the stench that came along with the Clinton name, because everybody knew she was corrupt and attached to Bill, and they were sick of it and they wanted something different, and the timing of Trump made sense. But my God, could you imagine if Kamala, let's just replace Hillary and insert Kamala as we know her today? Could you imagine what Trump would have done to her in 2016 if it was Trump and Kamala 8 years ago? It would have been an even bigger landslide.
And that's why they have to go with talking about, oh, this is a woman, he's going to be a bully, he's going to be sexist. This morning, because I monitor all the different local media, there are actually local media stations airing stories, interviewing different women's groups and different advocacy and policy women's groups. And they're saying, oh, well, we're just watching for, how she is perceived and how he may say things that are sexist and bully her. Yeah. And I'm like, first of all, as a woman, I find that highly insulting, because you put me in a debate against anybody. I don't care, man, woman, child. I'm going to go toe to toe. I'm going to prepare. I'm going to do well. And so to say, to start looking at her ethnicity or her gender or whatever, that diminishes any of those groups. That's basically saying, well, because you are fill in the blank, you really cannot go toe to toe with, a man or a white man.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to make all of these excuses for you. No. That nobody should say that. That's the opposite of what should happen.
Yeah.
And so they diminish. That's, to me, I find that so disrespectful.
I just love how everybody's, well, you got to be courteous and respectful. She is a female after all. You think Xi or Putin are going to be mindful of Kamala Harris's gender when we get on the precipice of World War III? You think Russia, you think China's going to go light on America because the president's a female? Zero chance in hell. But I know the way it works. So, Trump gets too combative. It's, he's trying to intimidate a female. This is a debate for the presidency of the United States, okay? Not 10th grade class president.
Thank you. And was Joe Biden a female? Was Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio, Cruz? I mean, were they all females?
Yeah.
No, he believe me, he spoke much harsh. He was very harsh with all of them. I'm sure that he will take a little bit of a different tone, but I will say part of it is post-Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt.
Yep. 855-839-1210. Coming up next, we'll wrap up the 6 o'clock hour. Liberal columnist for New York Magazine says Kamala should throw Joe under the bus. Kayal and Company, back after this.
Hey, Joe DeCamry here. When you've got kids going back to school, life can feel like it's always on the go, go, go. That's why Tasty Cake has go-to snacks for everyone in your family. Whether it's a fluffy crimpet with smooth icing, a creamy peanut butter candy cake, or a sweet cinnamony pecan swirl, Tasty Cake has something unique for everyone. When it's back to school, go for what they love, Tasty Cake, except no substitutes.
Hi, this is Dom Giordano with an easy question. How are your cholesterol levels? Managing healthy cholesterol is a key to a strong heart and overall wellness. For over 38 years, Rescue Natural Supplements has been a trusted ally in helping people reach their cholesterol goals. I've counted on Rescue for years, and with good reason. Their range of supplements designed to meet your specific needs, from omega-3s to red yeast rice and more. Take charge of your heart health today. Use the code DROP at checkout to double your order on any cholesterol product for free. Call today at 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a knowledgeable product consultant or use the code online when you visit res-q.com, res-q.com. Remember to use the code DROP to buy one, get one free on Rescue Cholesterol products. Double up your cholesterol support today. Use the code DROP at res-q.com.
40 days up to 40 pounds. Say it with me. 40 days up to 40 pounds. Shed that summer vacation weight by reaching out to NJ Diet. You will lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds in only 40 days and without any shots. NJ Diet is all natural. They use your hair, saliva, and blood work, along with bioenergetic scans to personalize natural solutions and supplements that get your body into the fat-burning zone so you can finally lose that weight. Then, NJ Diet uses DNA info to help you keep it off. Best of all, it's contractually guaranteed. You're fully supervised the entire time to make sure you are burning fat and not just losing water. You even get the doctor's personal email and phone number. Locations in Newark, Delaware, King of Prussia, and Cherry Hill, or available worldwide with live online video consultations. Call 855-5-NJ-DIET or schedule your consultation today by going to njdiet.com. That's njdiet.com. 40 days up to 40 pounds. 40 days up to 40 pounds.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Bob Casey, a familiar name, but ask yourself, what's he done for you and your family? In his 18th year in Washington, what's Bob Casey got to show for it? He made sure COVID relief checks could go to convicted felons. You heard that right. Bob Casey made sure COVID checks went to convicted felons. When reasonable people tried to stop murderers and rapists from getting checks, Casey voted no. Even the Boston Marathon bomber ended up with a big fat check. Casey voted the party line instead of using some common sense. And with families struggling to pay the bills, Casey had this to say about throwing around their tax dollars.
Go big or go home.
Bob Casey went big. He botched it. and it's time for him to finally go home. Bob Casey is wrong for Pennsylvania. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. SenateLeadershipFund.org.
Follow Talk Radio 1210 on Instagram and Facebook at 1210 WPHT.
Company 652. Welcome back in. Nick, Dawn, and Greg live here on a Tuesday morning. Talk Radio 1210 WPHT Debate Night in Philadelphia. You will hear it. Television simulcast right here at 9 o'clock on 1210 WPHT. Kamala Harris' website officially now has policies posted. We'll get to those coming up after Dawn's news. And also the body cam footage released from the Tyreek Hill arrest on Sunday. Prior to week 1 of the NFL.
He was also on with Caitlin Collins last night with his lawyer. So we'll have all of that as
beautiful. Well. Looking forward to that. But we'll wrap up the 6 o'clock hour. I thought this was pretty interesting. Jonathan Chait, a liberal columnist for New York Magazine, throws Kamala Harris under the bus, saying, "You need to throw Joe Biden under the bus." Under the headline, "Kamala Harris should cut Joe Biden loose," Chait summed up a New York Times report about the Harris campaign struggling to balance her considerable connection to the Biden-Harris administration, as well as her personal loyalty to the president, with his unpopularity, before asking, why is this even a struggle for Kamala Harris? Why not directly repudiate unpopular Biden positions? They go on to write, rather than trying to balance loyalty to Biden against catering to the desires of the electorate, Harris's strategy should focus entirely on catering to the public with no attention whatsoever to Biden's feelings. There is no rule requiring Harris to own every action Biden has taken. Quote, she can even say that she has disagreed with him. Her role as vice president was to give the president candid advice in private and support him in public. But now that she is running for his job, she can advocate her own ideas. They continue, quote, exactly why Biden has proven so toxic has confounded Democrats. I sympathize with their bewilderment. At this point, alas, public opinion is what it is, and I fear the Democrats have allowed their sentiment that Biden has gotten an unfair rap to cloud their judgment. Ms. Harris and her advisors are girding for a variety of debate attacks, including over her ties to Mr. Biden. I actually agree with that from the standpoint of, you're Kamala Harris. Joe Biden's got about 95 days or 100 days left in office, technically. He's been on vacation, basically, since the 4th of July. Why not just back the bus over him? Distance yourself completely from him. Keep this in mind. We played you that clip. 31% of voters don't know anything about Kamala Harris. And Stocker, I think you've been saying for a while that you actually think that number is significantly higher. You think most people don't know anything about her.
100%.
So at this point, and politics being what it is, and you stab people in the back and, you know, there's no loyalty, I mean, I would back the electric school bus over Joe. I would back the gas-powered school bus over Joe. I would back the little short bus over Joe. All of it, the whole bit.
Yeah.
Enough with Joe Biden.
She's not going to do that, though. There's too much political... there's too many consequences if that
you think so?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, because Pelosi's already body bagged him as well.
Yeah, but they body bag him and then they give him a kiss on the cheek,
and then they say he belongs on Mount Rushmore.
100%. So I think that there's too much to lose if she does that.
Yeah.
I understand what Jonathan Chait is saying, but I don't think that she's ever going to do it.
I mean, I would back the SEPTA bus over her, public transportation, mass transit. I mean, not even close at this point. But as you'll see when we come back to kick off hour number 2 after Dawn's news, she can't do that if she's going to steal Joe's policy and verbiage.
Oh, boy.
So we'll get to that as the official campaign website is up. And by the way, Kamala Harris texted my daughters last night.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
We'll read that text as well. As we continue, hour number 2, Dawn's news is next. Kayal and Company, Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are having 2 fabulous back-to-school specials. The 2024 S60 front-wheel drive sedan and the exciting electric C40 each can be leased for 36 months for $369. Due at inception would be a down payment and taxes and registration fees, but in New Jersey, the C40 has no tax. The $369 is an incredible payment on each of these Cherry Hill Volvos. Visit Cherry Hill Volvo. Our team would be honored to partner with you.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
For a complete list of Talk Radio 1210 WPHT's contest rules, go to 1210WPHT.com/rules.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at the Sellersville Theater in Sellersville, PA, Saturday, November 1st, with Norm Clark and Vince Valentine. For tickets, go to JoeConklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Do you know when the best time to buy investment properties is? It's now. It's always now. You just need to learn how to buy them correctly. Go to InvestorSchooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to buy investment properties and make money every time. That's right. That's what we teach. We teach how to buy investment properties and make money every time. Go to InvestorSchooling.com and RSVP right now. Take a class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's InvestorSchooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Don't go through life ignorant about how to become a millionaire. Learn how to invest in real estate, the stock market, precious metals, and learn from an expert. At Investor Schooling, we teach these things and more. We only provide education, and we will teach you how to leverage real estate, how to leverage the stock market, and how to leverage precious metals to make more money than you've ever made before. Go to InvestorSchooling.com and take a complimentary class this Thursday. We will see you there, InvestorSchooling.com. That's InvestorSchooling.com.
Are you worried about your roof handling the next storm?
At Emmons Roofing and Siding, we provide top-quality roofing services that fit your budget and stand the test of time.
And our team of roofing experts ensures your home stays safe and dry with durable, reliable roofing solutions to any problems you may have. Plus, at Emmons, we offer free inspections and free estimates.
So call us today at 856-885-6677 or visit callemmons.com.
From top to bottom,
to inside and out,
at Emmons, we have you covered.
Dom Giordano at noon. Kayal and Company now on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app.
His love so fragile, and the heart so hollow, shadow with words impossible to follow.
It's Kayal and Company, 7:02, hour number 2 here on this Tuesday morning. What's on the cut sheet coming up, 7:45. Your voicemails at 9:45 this morning. Debate in Philadelphia as we preview that tonight. Reaction tomorrow, and then Thursday evening, Collingswood, New Jersey. Donald Trump Jr., Dom Giordano, Politics and Pints. Looking forward to that. 855-839-1210. You're going to want to get on over to YouTube as well, because we will have the Tyreek Hill body cam footage, and that'll be coming up probably within the next 20 to 25 minutes before we get to the cut sheet. We'll get to Kamala's campaign website and the policies that were finally posted after 50 days. I'm guessing they were like, you know what? We've got a debate coming up against Donald Trump tonight. If we're going to post anything, now feels like the right time to do it. But let's get to the news before we get to all of that. Round number 2 at 7:03, the great Dawn Stenzlin.
And good morning. We are sponsored this Tuesday, debate day. We are sponsored in the news by Natural Lands. Let's get to it as we talk about the developing news of the day. This morning, we know that Philadelphia, there are first responders and crews who are on the scene of a car that plunged into the Schuylkill River. Police say a Jeep is submerged in the river right off Kelly Drive near Brewery Hill Drive. Philadelphia police called in the dive team. No word yet if anybody was rescued or recovered. This is at least the third time in the past month that a vehicle went into the Schuylkill River off Kelly Drive. So police reportedly never found the driver of that Mercedes-Benz that was seen backing into the river in the early hours of one morning in late August. And then a few weeks ago, a Range Rover rolled into the river right near the Strawberry Mansion Bridge in Fairmount Park. In that situation, the couple inside was not hurt. Police say the couple, they later admitted that they were making out and must have accidentally shifted the vehicle into gear and didn't realize it was slowly rolling into the river. I guess they thought the earth was moving.
Yeah.
Amid all that passion.
Imagine you're in a Range Rover. By the way, what's up with all these luxury vehicles going in?
Yeah,
Mercedes, Range Rover.
No, I hope they weren't. Jeep today.
I hope they weren't from the Piazza Auto Group.
Yeah, right? Oops.
Jesus. You're bumping and grinding, and next thing you know, you're submerged in water.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, boy.
So police on the scene of that one. And, of course, the big story in Philadelphia that is making international and national news. It's billed as an historic night in Philadelphia. The current vice president of the United States, Kamala Harris, and former President Donald J. Trump will meet for the first time for perhaps the only debate. High-pressure opportunity to showcase what they've got to offer in this job interview, if you will, in tonight's debate. And so 9 p.m. Eastern, Philadelphia, offering Americans to watch, get some details, and we'll talk about it tomorrow morning. Obviously, it will be, aired and it will be hosted by ABC News. But of course, we here at Talk Radio 1210 WPHT. It will be streamed.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to see it, and it'll be on YouTube, right? Is that right, Greg?
Oh, I mean, not on our YouTube, but it'll be on somewhere on
YouTube.
Yeah.
ABC will probably stream it on
We'll
all the
stream it.
digital, yeah. I got to wonder, too, if you think about these last few elections, Trump and Hillary had 3 or 4 debates. Joe and Trump had 2. They were originally scheduled for 3, but then there was the COVID factor, and now we're only going to get 1. I mean, I know we always say, hey, have debates jumped the shark? I mean, they're dwindling election cycle by election cycle. Like when we get to 2028 and 2032, what's it going to look like? They're happening less frequently. I don't like that.
Well, in this one, we saw history because it was the earliest presidential debate in our entire history of our nation.
Yeah, that's true.
That was in late June.
Yep.
And think about what has emerged and what has changed since late June until today, September 10th.
True.
It's mind-boggling.
Gun to your head. Let's all go on record here. Do we think we see another debate between Trump and Kamala after tonight? Will there be a second debate between them?
There should be.
Oh, yeah, there should be, but there's not going to be.
I agree.
I think it's weird that I did not realize that they've never met.
Yeah, that's true. They have never been face-to-face in any setting.
So it's like a blind date or something.
Which I think actually is going to lead to more anxiety from Harris. I actually really think that the crowd would be beneficial to her. I think being out there in that isolated, quiet, soundproof studio could lead to a little indigestion for the Veep. Just a guess.
Yeah, I can't wait. That's why I can't wait, because you don't know what you'll see. But the problem is what we see